So again, separate your way into unity. So, but then even this oneness can be separated from. So this oneness being, this awareness, if you manage to separate yourself from that entirety, that landscape, then what could possibly be left? Because you see, you're still looking at awareness, pure awareness, even though it feels like it is just awareness itself, you're still looking at it. You're looking at God. You're looking at the essential substratum, the essential radiance which makes up everything that can possibly ever appear or appear to be. The entire beingness, which is aware, which is pure space-like knowingness. Yes, it's non-separate. It's non-dual awareness. Before that, prior to that, you are still looking at that. So you're not even the universe. So separate yourself from the entire universe of pure consciousness. And so this is the final stage of subtlety, where we actually disengage from the root cause of all experience, of all delusion, of all separation. So we separate from the root cause of all separation, which ends up in this perfected oneness, which is not a oneness like God's oneness. It's the one. Before oneness, before, whoa, I'm everything. You're not nothing, but the reality cannot be described as nothing, but you're not everything. What you are is not everything, or beyond everythingness, right? So the subtler we become, boom, 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 give things away, surrender, surrender, surrender. Oh, still feeling a perception, still feeling that sensation, give it away. Whoa. And we start to transcend space and time and location as this intuitive, instinctive knowingness. You could call it a feeling, but it's not really a feeling. It's a knowingness. It's a direct knowingness. It's subtle. It's unconventional. You can't talk to this with people. You can't talk about this to people. You know, this is not a morning breakfast sandwich conversation. You can't relate it to any, it's got nothing to do with conventional reality already, not even at the absolute level. Before the absolute level, what you are has no relationship. It cannot be bridged to conventional reality, to imagination, because conventional reality is nothing but imagination and agreements and thoughts and concepts. How could any of that ever affect or touch what you are, which is this pure, primordially, already pure space of awareness? And beyond that is the absolute infinite reality. Awareness is its first manifestation, its first expression, its first breath. So it's the closest that can still be described. Isness, beingness, awareness, consciousness, the essence, the substratum, the root, the empty ground of all beingness. It's the subtlest that can still be hinted at, and the descriptions don't do it justice. Okay, God awareness, that subtlety of you. It's you awareness. That subtlety of awareness of you, which is already primordially pure, but you have to still purify it by separating from all the delusions. And then you see that it was already pure. Then you realize, like, it's not a new thing. It's always been the case. It's always been the state of things. The absolute cannot be described. It's beyond subtle. It's like not subtle. It's subtle, but it's not subtle. It's like beyond subtle. It's freer than space itself. Much freer. By a lot. You know, actually the best word for you, for what you absolutely are, the best word is not a term that points to a thing or a state. The best word is freedom. What does freedom look like? Can you find freedom? Can you, like, put it in your pocket? Can you give it to somebody else? True freedom, can it be taken away? Can anything touch it? Can it be grasped? Can it be scratched? Can it be dented? Can it be harmed? Can you put a flaw in freedom? If so, it becomes non-freedom. It becomes a distortion. It becomes an illusion. But ultimate freedom, freedom itself, cannot be reduced to a thing. And it's also a matching term because really the fragrance that is released experientially when you go beyond experiences is that of utter freedom, unspeakable freedom. The subtlest of the subtlest, the subtler you go, the freer you are from conventional reality. In other words, delusion, non-existent ideas. The freer you are, the subtler you are, the subtler you know yourself. The more refined, the finer, the more delicate, the more beyond, the more space-like, the more not this, not this. The subtler you know, you intuit, you know you're convinced of yourself, the freer you are from non-existence. Because really, my friends, conventional reality is non-existent, but it's believed to exist. We believe, typically conventional mindset is that we believe that what does not exist has existence. And therefore, we've obscured the real reality, and therefore freedom. Same thing. Reality is freedom. Freedom itself is what is real. Freedom is reality. Suffering is illusion, is non-existent. So for the more advanced practitioners out there, I'd say one of the most direct ways is to maintain, in your meditation or your contemplation, your inquiry, maintain that subtle awareness of the substratum of all that is, meaning the container which nothing escapes. There's not a single experience that could ever appear separate from, apart from that consciousness, that I amness, that root delusion, that root radiance, that root prime radiant. Everything, like there's not a single perception that exists apart from the knower, outside of the knower, without the knower. You've never known anything without the knower, except the absolute. Or nothingness. If you're still in delusion, you'll call it nothingness. Sometimes I call it nothingness as a pointer. But it cannot be nothingness. Nothingness is not a thing. As Ra says, the dissolution into nothingness is the dissolution into unity, for there is no nothingness. The absolute reality, it's freedom. Nothingness is not freedom. Freedom is not nothingness. The absolute source reality is not nothing. Anyway, so you go to that sense of everythingness, that root delusion, which you could also call enlightenment. Most people call it enlightenment. I call it enlightenment often, because it is.